Hello everyone, I didn't think we'd be back here today, but we got another trade video to discuss. Two trades have happened, one blockbuster of a deal, one pretty decent move for two teams as well. One between the Sharks and the Stars, and a massive one between the Kings and the Capitals, which all of that coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to the video here at the Internet Hockey Channel. Before we get this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank you for your support and able to love you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget the subscribe button down below and don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below so someone else gets into this video. Now, as I talked about, massive deals are starting to come through. It seems like the trade gates have opened. Now, none of these guys are on my trade bait list. I will once again link my 30-team trade bait list down in the description down below if you guys want to check out the full 30-team trade bait list of the Internet Hockey blog. But we do have some pretty big trades that have happened over the past couple of hours ever since recording that Markstrom video. So we got to start here today with the smaller one. The San Jose Sharks and Dallas Stars have made a small trade. The trade is as follows. The Sharks have acquired the signing rights to RFA forward Ty Dellandrea from the Dallas Stars in exchange for the Winnipeg Jets 2025 fourth round picks. This is a decent deal for both sides. For the Stars, it might have been due to some cap reasons. I'll get started here with the Sharks though. Dellandrea, who's a 2018 first round pick, 13th overall, has actually worked out quite well in Dallas. Like we say, he's an RFA, so he's going to need a new deal. 2 years ago, played 82 games for the Stars, looked fantastic, putting up 9 goals and 28 points, his first real full season at the NHL level. This past year, did not look overly good. 2 goals, 9 points, 42 games of NHL action. Didn't look overly fantastic there for the Stars. And I think we could see that he probably needed a bigger role. He was starting to get boxed out a little bit. He was healthy scratched a lot of time. And I think that he needed sort of a fresh start where he could play a little bit more. It sounds like he's going to get the opportunity to do that. He's going to be a solid top 9 forward. Someone's going to be able to play consistent minutes for the San Jose Sharks. They are going through a rebuild right now, so he'll have a bigger of a role. And I think he could be a really good steal there for the Sharks. So they're going to have to sign him first. That's a pretty good acquisition there for the Sharks. Get a young player who might have priced himself out of where he was, needed a fresh start, wanted a bigger role. I think the Sharks are going to be able to provide him with all of that. For the Dallas Stars, like I said, probably priced himself out of Dallas with their tight cap situation. Not sure they'd be willing to pay Dellandrea the $1.5 million he'd probably want on a new deal. So they are able to move him, get a 4th round pick in return. It's not the 1st round pick that they used on him, but they're at least able to get a draft pick for him. It's the Jets 2025 4th round pick, so it's the next year's draft. So it's a decent swap there for the Stars, and they're able to get a decent mid-level draft pick for at this point in time a bomb 6 forward in Dellandrea. So pretty smart move there for both sides. The Sharks are able to use their cap space, and they're having a bigger opportunity for Dellandrea and to their advantage. Take Dellandrea from the Dallas Stars, and in exchange the Stars are able to acquire the Jets 2025 4th round pick from the Sharks. So it's a decent swap for both sides. Then we go over to the big trade that just happened a couple of hours ago, and that was between the Capitals and the LA Kings, and the trade is as follows. It's a 1-for-1 deal. Darcy Kuemper is heading to LA. Pierre-Luc Dubois is headed to Washington. Now, it seems we're having same sort of things that we happened last year. There was a lot of talk Dubois was going to be moved last year. He was dealt by Winnipeg to LA in exchange for Velarde, Kupari, Iafallo, and a 2nd round pick. That trade worked out fantastically for Winnipeg. While that trade never worked out overly well for LA, he had 16 goals, 40 points in 82 games this past year with LA after having 27 goals and 63 points in 73 games with Winnipeg the year prior. So he had a much better season the year prior for Winnipeg, and he did not look overly good. Was demoted to 4th line center a couple of times for the Kings and never really looked overly good. So that was a really bad move there for the Kings to acquire Dubois. They gave up Velarde and Iafallo, who worked really well with Winnipeg, to acquire Dubois, who was demoted to their 4th line. Now, he had 7 more years left at an $8.5 million cap, and after July 1st, he had no movement clause that kicked in, so after July 1st, he was going to be difficult to move. So they moved him right now when they absolutely needed to. So that's a really good move there. So for the Caps, they are able to get Dubois. Now, if he's the Dubois that show up in LA, I don't think that the Capitals are going to be happy with this trade. But if these are Dubois that showed up at points in Winnipeg and Columbus and looks like a solid top 6 center, this could work out as a really good deal for the Capitals. Now, it is a little bit more money, but the Caps are going through a sort of a retool phase. And with the Capitals, they just lost 2 top 6 studs on their forward group as they wound up moving on from Kuznetsov in the trade deadline, and Backstrom's most likely done with his career. So those were 2 top 6 studs who are playing with Ovechkin time and time again. And now they're going to have Dubois, who is going to have a chance to play with Ovechkin. So I think this could be a really good fit there for the Caps. They could use a net front presence on the power play with a guy like Dubois. They could use a top line center who can play with a guy like Ovechkin. So I think this could be a really good fit there for the Capitals. They need a top 6 center. I know Strom's a really good guy, but I don't think he's number 1. And they're able to get it here in this Dubois deal. So as much as Dubois did not work out in LA, maybe he'll work out in Washington. That could be a really good fit there for the Caps. For the Kings, they get Darcy Kuemper. Now, Kuemper actually does have experience playing in LA. He had a short stint there in the 17-18 season before he was joined by the Arizona Coyotes. Coyotes moved him to Colorado. He won a cup there in Colorado and then signed a 5-year deal with the Capitals with an AV of $5.25 million. It's never worked out in Washington. The first year, he put up a .909 save percentage and a 2.87 GAA in 57 games played. This year, had 33 games played, a 3.31 GAA, 890 save percentage, and lost his starting role to Charlie Lindgren. So obviously, he did not work out overly well this year, lost his starting role. He needed a fresh start, still had 3 more years left at a $5.25 million cap hit. He was one of those guys who maybe wasn't the top end guys on the trade bait lists who was being mentioned as possibly being dealt, but he was a guy who was potentially out there with Lindgren sort of taking the role as a starter from him. The Caps didn't want to pay $5.25 million to a backup, so they do wind up moving him. So for the Kings, this is a really good addition there. I know he's still got a couple more years left at $5.25 million, but this is a pretty good move for the Kings because they needed a starting level goaltender. As much as Kuemper is more of an average goaltender, more of a guy who's a 1A, can play maybe 45, 50, maybe even 55 games a season, he can still be a really good starter and could be a guy who could really help take that Kings to the next level in the playoffs. He showed that with Colorado. I think he can show with LA too. So in my opinion, this is a really good swap there for the Kings and the Caps. Now, for my opinion, who I think wins these two deals, for the Sharks deal, I think the Sharks do win it. As much as the Stars are able to get a 4th round pick back in return, Sharks are able to get a good young player who I think eventually could be a solid middle 6 power forward in Dellandrea. This is a pretty good acquisition there for the Sharks. Meanwhile, in the Kings Capitals trade, I gotta go with the Kings. This is a fantastic move. They were able to get out of the Dubois deal, which seemed like a train wreck of a deal ever since they signed. So they were able to get out of that, don't have to retain any money, get their starting level goaltender in Kuemper, and save, I think it's $3.25 million on the cap, which they'll be able to use to get more help on the forward group of their defensive end. Maybe even keep a guy like Matt Roy. This is a fantastic move for the Kings. They get the starting level goaltender, they move off from a bad contract in Dubois, and they're able to get cap space to keep other players or go for agency and get other players. So this is a massive win in my opinion for the Kings, at least in my opinion. The Capitals make out pretty well here. They didn't need Kuemper anymore with Lindgren playing the way he has been, so they move him. It was able to give them a first line center, maybe with Dubois playing as the guy in the center market, not behind a guy like Scheifele in Winnipeg or a guy like Kopitar and Duneau in LA. If he's the number 1 center, maybe he can finally find his full potential in Washington. Maybe this trade does work out for the Capitals, but at this point in time, that $8.5 million cap hit is a little bit rich for Dubois, and I think at this point in time, the Kings do wind up putting this deal. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on these two deals down in the comment section below. Who do you think wins these two deals? Is it the Sharks getting Dellandrea? Is it the Stars getting a 4th round draft selection in next year's draft? And the Capitals deal, is the Caps getting Dubois? Is the Kings getting Kuemper? I would love to hear who you guys think won these two deals. And are we going to have any more trades in not just in future? It seems like the trade gates are sort of opened, and we could be getting some more trades in not just in future. So definitely, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of that down in the comment section below. So I'm going to talk about for today. We're going to this video. And if you're like to subscribe down below. Thank you for your support. Never would have been able to do without you guys. So if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe button down below. Don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below so I'll discuss today's video. Also a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that. So check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all for the next video. See you guys soon.